So it's so crazy. I had to go on the record with this. We do this on Sundays and after church. So the sermon in church today was talking about a man possessed with a demon, a legion of demons, and Jesus' encounter with him. He was a guy. He was in the tombs. They had cast him away from society because he had these unclean spirits in him, and he would harm himself by cutting himself and things like that. But when Jesus encountered him, there's a great story we were reading from Mark, and it talks about how Jesus cast these unclean spirits and these demons out from within this individual. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, but that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him, and cried with a loud voice, and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion. For we were cutting the cameras off, and when we were heading back home, we still had a few meals left that we wanted to try to bless some people with.
We're heading home, and we're wrapping it up for today. We got a couple left over. We're going to just try to see if we can catch some people on the way home and, bless a couple more people before
While
we head in.
While we were riding and the cameras were off and we were right by the house, we saw a lady who was just kind of going crazy. We couldn't tell whether or not she was crying or whether or not she was having some type of episode. But she was just screaming, bawling, tearing at and ripping at her clothes and her hair, and screaming. So we circled back, and we didn't cut the cameras back on. It was just one individual, and I'm finding now that it's typically these are the times when we're having the most interesting encounters, when it's that last individual or just that one-off where we're just like, we don't have to record this. I pulled up. I still had a couple bags and waters inside the car with me, and I rolled down the window, and she was screaming. And when I yelled out to her, God bless you, God bless you, and she looked at me, she screamed in fear when I said God bless you, and I said it repeatedly. And again, this is likened to the story or similar that was in the Bible from the sermon. The demons recognized Jesus immediately. God came right out the cave as soon as Jesus was over in the vicinity and said, Why do you come and torment us? Why are you tormenting us? Can you just please leave us be? We know who you are. Leave us be. She screamed like, wow, and just jumped back when I said, God bless you. Not because she was startled, because we pulled up ahead of her. We rolled the window down, and I made sure I don't run up on nobody, because, I wouldn't want nobody to run up on me. Said, God bless you. And when she heard me, she screamed in fear. I said, we have food and water, and she was like so far back, like she didn't want to get near me or touch me out of fear. We've seen this before, because we do know that there's some individuals who are mean-spirited who do harm, the homeless community. And she said, give me the water, give me the water, give me the water, very aggressively. And I said, okay. And I reached it out, really cautiously. And then she snatched it from me, didn't want to touch me, didn't want to make contact. And I said, God bless you. And then she says, give me the food too, give me the food. And I gave her the bag of food. She took the bag of food up in the air and slammed it down on the ground as hard as she could and started kicking and stomping on the sandwich. She drank the water though. So we know that she was partially there. That was the human side of her, the part that was not possessed, that knew she needed the water to be able to survive in these extreme temperatures. But she was battling with that demon that was inside of her, that was just having her tear the bag apart, take the banana, stomp the sandwich. So I wanted to share that with you guys, because, as much as we run into these heartwarming moments, we run into moments like these as well. But we're going to continue our journey and our mission. It doesn't take much. God bless you guys.